But
Mm.
yeah. So to be honest, I don't know how to start. Welcome to the Unnamed Podcast. Uh, I'm Yandri Swart. This guy over here is Sean Erasmus. On socials, I go as AlphaDog1292. He goes by the MTB Dad. That will probably change within the next, I don't know, couple of weeks. I don't think I want to be known
Probably.
as. I don't know. I don't think I want to be known as the AlphaDog1292 and I go into the hospital vlogging or taking photos of my kid. I mean, probably gonna fight off nurses like, I'm here to demand to see my baby. I'm AlphaDog1292. It's not gonna go well.
No, it's a little bit inappropriate.
Yeah, but anyway, so Sean and myself have been toying with this idea of starting this thing, and this is pilot attempt number 1. I mean, 0, episode 0, attempt 1, episode 0, pilot podcast. And just like that, and that's just like that we started.
That was a great start.
Yeah, there's this pizza.
So we give some context about what we want to talk about in these podcasts and why we want to talk about that.
Yeah, sure.
I guess what our life situation is.
Yeah, so basically I am father to be within the next 3 months, so call it 12 weeks, and the idea is to have 12 episodes. So episode 12 will probably land as kiddo is coming out.
Cutting is fine,
but no, there's no cutting, it's natural. Well, that's the plan.
Yes, we hope so.
We hope so, but so the idea is 12 episodes, and it's sort of like a old dad neuter, or not neuter. That's like the wrong word completely.
Existing dad to dad to be.
Exactly, lessons. So we've been in discussion a bit, and I'm honestly too scared to open the list in front of me now because I'm scared the software's going to bomb out, and the whole idea behind this podcast is going to be one take, all bloopers cut in. If the dog interrupts us, the dog interrupts us. If the kid starts crying, the kid starts crying. I'll entertain you with the guitar. If Sean needs to run off and get everything under control, so uncut, dare to be lessons, in short.
From episode 2.
Well, episode 1.
1, sorry, yes. I mean the second one.
Which
will be episode
podcast
1.
2, episode 1.
Great.
We're starting
In
with
sequence.
mathematics, eh?
So Yandre, you're a dad to be, Alpha Dog. You're a dad to be for a week's time. I'm already a dad. My daughter turns 3, also in about 12 weeks, 10 weeks, the end of March.
End of March. Okay.
And that's all I can really say for now, I guess.
Well, sure.
That could be amended, obviously, but it is what it is. And yes, obviously I've gone through a whole lot already, and the idea would be that, as Yandre and I discuss, these are things we would have talked about anyway, but we figured why not share our interesting discussions.
Yeah, I mean, Seattle coffee is expensive, and seeing that we're in a COVID situation, we can't really meet up, so this is the next best thing.
We were probably going to talk online anyway, so...
Exactly. I mean, I want to say we are like at least like 3 times a week in communication with each other. Like minimum, I would guess. So
minimum, yeah, sure.
Yeah, so to put context, I've known Sean now for about 4 odd years, I would say. And we work together at the same company, and we pretty much split from the company at the same time, and we've just kept in contact ever since. And he also runs a blog called the MTB Dad, which might or might not change soon.
I'm still toying with that idea.
Yeah, and this is probably only going to be like, this is more for episode 2's talk, but there was a lot of articles on his blog that I went back to multiple times to get sort of like dad advice, I guess, or more like when to become dad advice in that sense.
Well,
but anyway,
yeah, to be honest, I'm going to have to go back to that myself as well. If you ask me any questions about it, I'll have to go read it again, because it really feels like it was so long ago.
It's fine. I don't know what promises I made my wife this morning, so all I know is she's happy inside at her den, busy playing Among Us without me.
No,
but yeah,
awesome.
And then other general things. Sean and myself, we're both gamers to an extent. I think I'm a bit more serious, if that's the case. Like, I would dedicate a couple of months to a game, if not years, or thousands of hours. I actually did the calculation the other day.
No.
Of my December holiday, the 1 week that I had off, and I said, you know what? I'm going to enjoy December holiday. I'm probably never going to get another December holiday.
By yourself?
By myself. And I clocked like 98 hours worth of gaming in like less than a week and a half. And that's just Steam. That's not my Nintendo Switch. That's not my PS4. And I sat there and I was like, that's 2.5 weeks worth of work, or a full week and another week's worth of overtime. And right then I decided, okay, it's maybe it's time. It's maybe time to like cool it down.
Yeah, no better time than nothing like a kid, I guess, to bring a kid into the world to make you change your priorities.
Yeah.
And that's not even a bad thing. Some people say it like it's a bad thing, but yeah, it's a clear milestone. It's like a line in the sand.
Yeah.
There's no return option. You know, you can't try it out for a week and go, I'm going to send this one back.
Well,
it happens, and then, you know, your life changes forever, and it's just something you accept and adapt to.
Place. Do we even still have shops that do photocopy? we
yeah, actually... I think you can still go to Postnet. I'm sure they still do it. I think you can even have a fax sent there if you really need to.
You're joking. When my wife was applying for, I think, South African teacher something thing. I think they call it SACE or whatever. She had to fax her stuff in. Okay, but this is a couple of years ago, like 4.
Yeah, it still existed like probably 5 years ago or so. There was still the odd fax, and it was fairly normal. But if you fax today, I mean, like, it's, I don't know. I'd really frown upon anybody that wanted to send me a fax. And firstly, I would frown, and secondly, I wouldn't even know what to say to them.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever used a fax machine in my life, and I don't have a fax number. I don't think our office even has a fax number anymore.
I mean, you get the fax to email thing, but that's pretty pointless. You might as well just send an email, because
the email, right?
Because I believe the new ones, you have to upload the fax to your PC, then from your PC do the email. So
yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Nah, it doesn't make sense. But anyway, that's another thing. Tech. I think Sean and myself both quite tech savvy, and already without even the little one being here yet, I can find myself looking at like tons of gadgets, and I'm pretty sure Sean will be able to tell me yay or nay, waste of money, not waste of money.
Yeah, it's a bottomless pit once you start.
Yeah.
And you'll see. I mean, you probably would have picked that up already. It's the biggest. I don't want to say scam, because it's not a scam. Definitely not.
It's not a scam, but
they make you feel guilty. They make you do guilt purchases because it's your child. You want the best for your child. You want to spend money.
Yeah.
And they like 100% retailers take advantage of that.
Yes, I've got this issue now where I've fallen into the whole brand trap thing, where I bought I bought a brand of what was it, like bottles, I'll be honest, Tommy Tippy. I was like, oh, this bottle looks cool. I like the shape of it. It's small, cool. And all of a sudden that logo stuck with me, and I've ended up buying a Tommy Tippy twist and click poop bucket thing. And
what? The thing that makes like the sausage packet.
Yeah. And I must tell you, I did like a proper Yandere on that purchase. So I was at.
I thought you were about to tell me I did a proper Yandere test run.
That's coming. Gonna use Alfie's poop on the lawn as a test.
Have you got nappies already?
Yeah.
Scoop it into the nappies and throw it in.
No, so I was buying the thing, and I know for a fact that this thing's like retailing $400 or something, at least at all the places. And I went to Toys R Us at a place. I'm not going to mention which one, and on it was a sign that said TT, which I assumed stood for Tommy Tippy or Tippy. Yeah, Tommy Tippy.
That's fairly reasonable.
Yeah. And it said click and twist. But the thing is, twist and turn or something like that. Nonetheless, and it said $1.99, and I was like,
bargain,
half price, take it. And I took it to the till, and they scanned it. It was 400 rand, and I went from 0 to Karen in like 2 minutes. It's like, I will show you where I found this. They're like, no sir, it's not on the floor. I'm like, follow me. I'm gonna show you. March there. I walked out of a $200 poop bin.
Nice.
I hope it's gonna work. I absolutely hope it's gonna work.
So was it actually Tommy Tippy?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
I think I must change my studio for this podcast. I must move to the baby room. I mean, all the little gadgets is just there. I can just pull it. They don't have a lot yet.
If we can promise to be quiet, I can go to Ivy's room and do it from there while she's sleeping.
Your sleep review. That's something that sounds like something that weird fetish people find on YouTube and like watch.
Yeah. As I was saying it, I was like, no, not going to do that. Secondly, not only that, but Andrea would kill me because I undoubtedly would wake Ivy up.
Yeah.
Either by walking into the room or leaving the room or something.
Yeah. And
then she does this weird thing. She's got like this plush toy that has the, like these plush toys that have the big eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And she grabs the two eyes somehow, and she's been doing this for months, even when her hands were small. And she clicks the eyes together, so it's almost like the sound you would hear if you had to click two marbles together.
Okay, yeah.
Like at random times of the night, I'll wake up and I just hear this like, and I know she's like tossing and turning, and she's awake, and she then rolls over. But anyway,
whatever keeps them busy, I guess.
I don't know. It must be like a what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of it. But it started happening when we took her off of her dummy, and we took her off of her dummy at the beginning of lockdown because she was biting through them. So it's like she was like grinding her teeth on the dummy. And now I think instead of doing that, she started doing this clicking thing. But yeah.
I mean, next is probably climbing out of the cot or what? I don't know.
Well, she's in a bed now.
Oh shit! Yeah, she's what? Like you said 3, eh?
Almost, yeah.
Almost 3, yeah.
She's like, she's just shy. She's like 34 months. We did that also during lockdown. We got rid of her cot.
Okay.
And moved her over to her bed.
So you're telling me that I just spent like $6,000. No, like $8,000 on cots and stuff for 2 years.
The only way you can make yourself feel better about that is by telling yourself that the next baby will have it too, and you don't have to spend that again.
I'm motivated for the next 4 now.
Get a proper ROI.
No.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird feeling when you hit those milestones and you something you're now finished using it because they're not a baby or they're beyond that baby phase.
Yeah.
And you just pack it away and you're like, we spent so much money on that, and now it's just like it's done.
Yeah, but you say that, like I've been thinking about it the whole time. Like I literally walked into what is the place, Cotton On, and I probably should say a disclaimer. All these brands I'm mentioning in stores, they are not sponsors. We are not associated with them. I forgot about that.
Not affiliated to
Not
anyone in any
affiliated.
way.
However,
Open to discussion.
so yeah, I went into Cotton On and I bought this awesome little NASA outfit and this awesome Batman, like the one that he's coming in home with after the hospital.
What? Oh, so newborn size. I was going to ask you what size.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I swear, or the guy's like ringing it up, and he's like, "That will be 1-2." I was like, $120. I was like,
120?
1200.
Oh my gosh!
And then after that, I was just like, everything's cheap, So,
you set the benchmark really high.
Yeah. So one of the things that I have now, and I know we were supposed to do tech in like a different episode, but this thing's now fresh in my mind that I've been researching, and it's I don't know if you know about the snoozer. So you get a thing called the Snoozer Go and the Snoozer, I think, Euro SE and the Snoozer Pico. So they ranged from $600 to about $1,800, with $1,800 basically making you to connect to your kid via Wi-Fi.
Okay.
But it's a small little sensor that you connect onto the baby from like newborn age, and then it
like how, like as in a like a pad, or that you actually put on them, or
it's like okay, that's a good idea for the podcast. I'm gonna make a little screen where I can share like websites to show you what the stuff looks like. But
good idea.
It's essentially a small little what can you call it? It looks like a little clip sensor, like a MP3 player almost, that you clip into the in the front, and you rest it on the stomach. It's got like a little sensor thingy that sits on the stomach, and then it checks for breathing activity on the baby. So if the baby stops breathing for like 15 seconds, it vibrates to try and wake the baby up to start breathing automatically, and after 5 seconds after that, it would sound an alarm for the parent to go and check up on the baby. Okay. And then, like, they've also got, like, I think the Pico, I'm 100% speaking under correction, but the Pico has got, like, tilt in it, so that you can check if the baby may be rolled over somehow, or, and if it's rolled over, it checks the breathing for, what do you call it? In Afrikaans, we call it Vigie dood, but,
cot death.
That there's another name for it, like
where they basically roll over and they can't. Sure. They're not strong enough to get to lift their heads or to roll back over.
Yeah. So this sensor is 100% built for that.
So my question to you before you go ahead and buy that, have you bought it already?
No.
So is he going to sleep in the room with you guys for the first couple of weeks? Is that the plan?
So we bought it. Tommy Tippy, Moses Moses basket for the first while.
Okay. Okay.
With like 300 and 100%. This is quoted from the box. It's got 300 breathing holes around it.
Okay.
And it's like super lightweight, and
yes,
if he like soils it, you just take the thing off, throw it into the machine, and then
okay. Yeah, so the thing is that, like, to me, those sensors are more for if parents are going to have their babies in another room.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to have your baby sleep right next to you, I don't know, in my opinion is just that, you're going to be checking so often on that baby, or naturally.
Yes.
And the sensor will do more harm than good, because I've heard lots of stories, not so much the sensor, but more the versions where you put them underneath the baby's mattress.
Yeah.
And it also senses, for, I think, I don't know if it picks up heart rate or what it does, but also sends off an alarm after a certain period of time of no activity.
Yeah.
And most of the time it's a false alarm. So in a point in your life where you desperately need all the sleep you can get, the last thing you need is something waking you up unnecessarily.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm going into this thing with like minimal leave, so I'm probably gonna only be at home like so little, like maybe a week, and then I'm back at work again.
Does your company give you the 10 days paternity?
So yes, but
Okay.
it's not a good deal, and it's not
Yeah.
on the company; it's on our government.
Sure.
And we can go in much more detail on this in the later shows. But long
For
story
sure.
short, the policy states that you can get 10 days cumulative leave. So
Okay.
it's the word cumulative? Opeenvolgend. So it's 10 days after each other. It's not 10 working days. So let's say, for argument's sake, your kid is
What?
born on a
Okay.
Friday and is born.
Yes, the weekend
Yeah,
counts.
he or she or the baby is born on Friday afternoon, 5 o'clock. That counts as leave day number 1. So you've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There's 3 days gone.
Oh,
Then you've got
that's
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's 5.
yes.
Saturday, Sunday. There's your 10 days gone.
Wow. Okay.
And
Didn't
then
know that.
you need to claim
From UIF.
and the UIF only pays 66% out, capped on people earning less than 250,000 per annum.
Less than.
Yes.
And more than?
More than, there's a different percentage worked out, but it's like 33%. So
Okay.
I spoke to somebody that did it recently, and I mean, it's different from person to person, and also you need to take into account now that tours happened just now. So
Yes.
I think payments was a bit difficult, but in short, he said that he got about 2 days worth of his 10 paid off or paid out.
Okay.
Yeah, so my company, at least, they do a 3-day family responsibility leave.
Responsibility.
Yeah,
Yes.
which is going to help, and don't really want to give it on the stream all the details. I don't know who's going to watch it, but I had a chat with the boss and the managers, and we've got like a cool little system that we're going to work out, and I'm grateful for the way they're willing to handle it, at least.
Cool.
Also seeing that I've
Okay.
got almost no
That's good.
leave. I mean, I just really started there, and I basically took everything in December now, because last December. But yeah. Okay, yeah. So gadget wise, I don't know if I'm gonna go with that thing yet. I hear you. I mean, I wouldn't want to sit and stress like every single minute of the day whether I'm gonna hear that beep beep. And also, let's say the baby's sleeping and nothing's wrong. Do you really want a false alarm to wake the baby up? Not a chance.
Exactly.
But
and you'll only use that for the first couple of months, because eventually they will start rolling anyway. And you don't want that clip sitting on the front of their stomach.
Sure.
Stopping them from rolling over, or them rolling onto it.
I also saw that in America, there's a lot of people, I can't remember the name of the product. I've been watching a ton of baby videos, FYI. And it's like a little sock that you put on to the baby to like do heart rate monitoring.
Okay, that sounds like a better idea.
Yeah, but I also think, I mean, babies grew up in the times of Game of Thrones. They should survive a little pandemic that they're not going to get exposed to, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know, and it varies by person.
Yeah.
There's also the other side of it is, like, if you have parents that are heavy sleepers.
Yeah.
Then maybe it's a fair concern, but like.
Yeah,
I'm a fairly heavy sleeper, but Andrea is a very light sleeper.
I own a golden retriever that sleeps in the house and needs to pee every morning at 3, and then again at 4, and again at 5, and then starts moaning for food. I'm a light sleeper.
Yeah, exactly. So then, I mean, if you're already awake frequently, you'll be even more awake, especially for the first few days and weeks.
Sure.
I don't know. That's just my opinion, but obviously, you have to be comfortable with it. If you're not comfortable with that, with relying on yourself and your natural sleeping pattern, then it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, then, you know, and like you say, he is going to be in our room, so we probably will be checking on him like every couple of minutes.
Especially the first day.
I mean, when we got our puppy, I know it's not.
I was waiting for that.
I kid you not. I think it was every single hour we had an alarm go off to take him out, and we missed the alarm once, and he accidentally pooped in his little cage, and he was so disappointed in himself. And
shame.
from that moment on, I said to myself, never in my life will I ever sleep again. I will just be awake all the time.
Oh man, I remember that we didn't do that with Stanley. He literally, he's so like chilled. He was unfazed from the second night we had him. He slept outside, like by himself, tiny little pup, and he didn't care. Lily, on the other hand, we tried that, and she screamed like I didn't even know dogs could make noises like that, but she screamed. So eventually we had her sleep in like a little toy box in our room next to our bed with a blanket in it, and her as well we had to take out often. But because she's a little cocker spaniel. I'm looking and pointing even though you can't see her. She's lying behind the camera. She was tiny as a puppy. And we have a forest behind our house. So I was like, I had to stand over her while she was trying to pee in the garden in fear of an owl or something coming to snatch her off of the lawn.
and this dog's just like, I want to do my thing, person. Get away.
Yeah, this is embarrassing.
So the second dog, Nova, that we got. So fun fact. So Sean's got a golden retriever. I've got a golden retriever. He's got a cocker spaniel. I've got a spaniel cross. But when we got her, so the main reason we got her was I went to the Czech Republic for I think like a week or two or something. I can't remember. I can remember the trip, I just can't remember how long it was. Fun times. Travel. Anyway, and I got back, and Alfie spent like the majority of the time at his cousin, Hunter. Okay, so so the dog's name is Hunter, and that's a flippin' funny story for another day.
Sure.
And we got back, and Nadine sent me this photo of a dog called Lacey, and they're like, oh, this puppy is 7 weeks old, she wants a home, blah blah blah. And the woman's in Sherwood, so let's just she can come over this afternoon. I was like, okay, well, cool, bring her over, we can have a look. And took the dog.
that was it.
But also, we were like, we're going to let her sleep in the bathroom. Alfie passed out behind the couch every single night. So in the bathroom, that's it. And she cried so much, and I was so tired. I was just like, bring her, let her just sleep in the bed. She hasn't left since. Every night she still jumps on, and then at least now she starts on the bed and she then ends on her little bed at night. So every night it becomes a lot more earlier.
What do you do in those super hot nights? Do they still sleep on the bed with you? Surely not.
Yeah,
Surely they just as hot as you?
No, they okay. So Alfie doesn't sleep on the bed.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. So he sleeps like generally on the couch in the lounge, and then Nova would start like underneath the blanket for like 2 minutes. Then she boils like it's the hottest of hot. Like it actually burns me when I touch it. And then she goes and sleeps on top of whatever's on top of the bed, if it's a duvet or just a sheet or whatever. And then like maybe an hour after that, down onto her bed. Cheers, people. I don't need you anymore.
I'm out.
Super independent. But so just we touched earlier that we both engineers that worked at the same company. We took our separate paths. Now working for different companies. And one thing obviously with being an engineer is like trying to make a lot of stuff. So I don't know, have you tried making a lot of stuff for Ivy, or is it more a case of buying?
Not successfully.
Okay.
One thing I was like really adamant that I would make is like a fidget board for her, and I think this was probably when she was like 1.
Yeah.
So like literally a wooden board with all sorts of like gimmicks and gadgets that you would buy from a
Yeah.
hardware store, like locks and bits of even like scrubbing brushes and things that you mount to it. Uh, I think I spent like over R1,000 buying all the kit, and I got about halfway with it, and I never finished it, and she never even used it. And then by the time I kind of got back to it, she was over it, and she was too old for it.
Okay.
So I did try that. In lockdown, we did a little bit of we got a little bit creative with it, but nothing hardcore.
I saw the activities that you guys did in
Yeah.
lockdown.
Like obstacle courses, and then we taped like toilet rolls to the wall, and like made like tunnels and things for her to drop little balls through, and
I also saw something
watch how they drop out.
Yeah, I also saw something that looked a lot like body painting, like.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of painting. But that, I mean, I didn't make anything.
Yeah,
I literally just gave her the paintbrushes, and she
Sure.
just decided that paper was not the ideal canvas. She wanted to paint on us.
Yeah. I myself have, I wouldn't say failed to build anything yet, but I've done a lot of things to prep. Like I've put on a lot of shelves in the house, and
a lot of like room prep and things like that. Yeah,
like,
for sure.
You'll see. Yes, this camera is tripping me out, but there's some guitars hanging on like a custom rail that you can't see that I built. I redid the vinyl floor in his room.
That's fairly impressive.
Yeah, I must say, like, so we pretty much, I wanted to do it for my gaming studio for so long, and then I can't remember what happened that I was we invested in that Mana crypto, and I think just shot up.
Yes.
And then the money I pulled out, I convinced Nadine that it's enough for me to do the floor, which is like $1,200 or something. And we went to the builder's warehouse, and I got the stuff, and 6.5 hours the next day later, floor was done. And it was one of my
only
proudest.
6.5 hours.
Just
That's not bad.
Man alone, and she was pregnant already, so she couldn't even help me. Like every night, and she was actually hellish sick that time.
Man.
So she was like on the bed the whole time, and I was quite worried. That was like roughly round about the time when I told you that we're pregnant now. We've had like the scare and all that stuff. So
yes.
Yeah, it was so it was actually quite a crappy weekend, because while I'm doing it, I'm like, I could be doing this for nothing. Like, I don't know what's going to go wrong. Maybe I should wait. Maybe I've counted my chickens.
The early weeks of pregnancy are so scary.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, we've obviously had Ivy, and we've also gone through a miscarriage last year.
Yeah. So
it's like, these first few weeks are so difficult, because obviously you're excited, but you also know that it's far too early to know anything.
Yeah.
So it's like this constant back and forth of being excited and then trying to not get overexcited and kind of rein yourself in, because you're scared of, the disappointment if something was to go wrong.
Yeah. So I'm not going to mention his name, because if I mention his name, it can be tied to the person that told him that. So somebody told me of a person from Cape Town, for argument's sake, told me that there was a study that showed that when you doubt in your pregnancy, that there is much more chance of something going wrong than you just accepting it from the get-go, because the mental state and the stress is completely gone if you do that. And that's kind of like the route I took with it. Like,
so what do you mean? You accept that you have no control over it?
No, you just accept that you're pregnant, and that's it. It's like, it's 6 weeks or whatever, but if you're gonna worry for the next 6 weeks that something's gonna go wrong, that worry is gonna eat you up. So essentially, that's what we did. Like, I don't know how long ago it was, but I want to say roughly around 12, 14 odd weeks when it was like a bit more secure. My dad and I think it was my dad and my stepmom and my sister and Nadine. We were having like brunch or something at the mall. It was during lockdown. And he said, "Yeah, we should. We was going to have a look at the cots and the compactums and stuff and see if they've got something. And if they have it, let's just buy it today. And we've got 2 cars here. We can take it to the house." And I was like, let's wait a bit and all that stuff. And then I thought about it. It's like, you know what? Screw it. Let's just buy it. It's like it's like a little bit more of excitement. Sure, I had to build that stuff alone because my dad just helped me to drop it off.
Doesn't that generally happen though? Because like you obviously can't have your pregnant wife even from as early as 12 weeks.
Yeah.
You don't want them to be under any strain whatsoever. So
sure.
So to any new dads, I guess, that would be listening to this now or in the future, just accept that as well.
Yeah.
Any DIY, any build-it-yourself furniture that you buy for your baby, you will assemble it yourself. Unless you are smart enough to arrange having someone come over and give them a beer in return for helping you build it.
Yeah,
preferably another dad who's built similar furniture before.
Yeah, but also like in the case of my dad that helped me to bring it in and stuff. I mean, we're in a COVID lockdown. He's a public. He works in the public sector as a police officer, so you also don't want to spend too much time in close proximity.
That's true.
So, yeah, okay, it's been some challenges, but nonetheless, and the same thing with the pram. Like, I still asked you what pram did you get, and you sent me the name, and I googled the price, and I was like, no, this is not happening.
No, man, that's not that bad.
It was bad.
Although we bought it on sale, if I remember correctly.
Like it had to probably be like a Black Friday sale to make it worth it.
It wasn't.
Oh,
maybe it was. No, it wasn't. It couldn't have been. But it was. Back then they were only a South African brand, and they have since gone international. So they've grown immense.
I see
obviously,
that they
quality standards and things have gone up.
I see that they're now in New Zealand and they are in Australia and the UK. So I saw that they expanded. Yeah, so we ended up going with the brand Joey. With Joey.
It's also a very good brand.
Yeah.
I don't know. I honestly don't know if it's Joey or Joy.
That brand.
I think we say Joe. I think I say Joey when I don't think about it. I say Joey. Now I don't know because I'm thinking about it.
But at the end, obviously, there's no different models. There's the Lightrax 4 and the Lightrax 3, and the Lightrax 3's got the.
I don't know why they can't consolidate all the models.
And we at the end looked, and I'm probably going to get the name wrong now because I kind of forgot. But we went with like the Travel Mate LX or something like that, which was essentially the Lightrax 4 without a cup holder for I want to say half the price. So I just reckoned, why spend so much? Like, babies are expensive.
No, they are. There's no doubt about that. Setting yourself up for a baby is no cheap venture.
Yeah. But
we have the Joey car seat.
Yeah.
We have I think we've got about 3 car seats at this stage.
Okay. Do they
for the different sizes and multiple cars and trying to make that all work.
So this is not going to help me with this question. So you say you've got multiple car seats for the different stages. How much do you think you spent on car seats so far?
Probably an average of around 2,000 rand a seat.
So let's say that's $7,000. Let's say $7,000. So that's actually the one thing I've been toying with because Joey, whatever the brand is, they've got this one called Travel Stage or something, and
I think it's called Stages, just called Stages. Anyway, I know which one you're talking about. The one where you disassemble it.
It expands and it's like the freaking Transformers of baby chairs. But I saw it and it was like $6,000. I was like, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And
so the thing to factor in that is yes, it will change with time. Firstly, just check, because a lot of them do that. They change with time.
Yeah.
But just focus on the weight range. Obviously, you want the bigger weight range.
No, I saw one that showed like a kid that's like just a little bit smaller than me, and I said, no, Al, if he gets to that stage, I'll smack him out of that chair. So no, the one I was looking at was like,
probably, I think you want to look at like up until like 20 kilos, 18, 20, 22, somewhere around there. And then the other thing to think about is, if you are planning on having more than one kid, is what is the overlap of the different seats. So I think what we had worked out, I have to go back and think about this now, but we had kind of worked out that it didn't make sense to buy one for a longer range, because we were going to need that one again for the new kid before Ivy would completely use the original seat. Something like that. I can't remember entirely, but kind of just do like a scenario playthrough of whatever your age gap you're planning for, and how the different seats would work, as well as having two cars. That's the other thing, is that I mean, they are super convenient compared to what they used to be to move seats between cars, but it's still a pain. So if you can get to the point where you have two seats, even if one's really great and the other one's average, it's just nice to not have to move it every time.
So are you a fan of ISOFIX on the seats, or do you do the whole seatbelt locking thing?
So when we bought our pram, we bought a travel system.
Yeah.
So that had the seat, and then that came with an ISOFIX, which I love.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic, especially for if a parent's on their own in a parking lot. That's the example I often think about. You don't have to spend 5 minutes trying to clip the seat in. You literally drop them in, it clicks, you can check it, and it's fine, and you can close the door, get in your car, and drive away. Because there's like, if you just imagine how vulnerable a parent is if they've got their body in the car trying to clip someone in for 2 or 3 minutes, clip a baby in. Anybody can come up behind and
snatch someone.
Put a knife on them or pull a gun on them.
Yeah.
It's just a very vulnerable position.
We do live in South Africa, so.
Yes, exactly.
So
it's not an unrealistic scenario.
Yeah, so that's the one thing. Like, we also had the travel system without the base. So the base is optional.
Okay.
We also had the option of buying a ISOFIX or a seat lock base with a force absorbent arm. So it's like an arm that comes down and it pushes onto the floor. So if you do brake, this thing absorbs all the brake force. So the chair actually doesn't then tilt backwards.
An ISOFIX has that as well, but it's rigid. So I don't know if this one you're referring to is if it's got like a dampening system, or
it's got like a little dampening thing. Everything has to be green before the chair can actually lock into place. It's like a freaking complicated pneumatic circuit, if you can call it that. But nonetheless, so the price difference between the ISOFIX and the seat lock one was so big that the ISOFIX base was half the price of the Stages baby chair. So we then went with what was almost half price. It was 1,000 rand cheaper. And we got the safety belt lock one. So it still locks in with the safety belt, but it stays. It's a base that stays. So you don't have to, when you get in, you just clip it in. And it's still to be tested, but it's said that you can put the baby in the car and fold up the Joy travel system within less than 30 seconds.
That is a video that we should do.
We must test it. We must test it. The base is already in my car. We must do it. Once again, disclaimer, not paid promotion. Although, so this is gonna be like a super. What's the word now? Sudden, not sudden. I don't know what the word is for it, but we've hit the 45-minute mark, and we haven't really discussed what the time limit is going to be on this. I feel 45.
I think 40. Yeah.
Yeah, 45 is a good
I
time.
agree.
So this was just
I
a
think-
pilot.
Yes, of course. And we were very much all over the place.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lily's just begging for attention here.
No, it's fine.
My lap. We were very much all over the place, but this was just a very much an opening discussion. And obviously, the episodes that come from here are more, I guess, structured.
Yeah. We've
we'll
actually
talk-
got a
we-
plan.
We believe it or not, may
Yeah.
not sound like it, but we do.
Yeah. I actually sat one morning and just typed it out. It's like, Sean, what's your email address? I'm sending you an email. So, and then I actually had his email. But yeah, it's this is episode pilot 0 of. We're gonna have to think of a name before next week.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. We can't let this go on for too long, otherwise it'll stay the unnamed.
No. This we need a name. As for platforms, right? Okay, now I need to get my camera correct. Yeah, there at the bottom corner, we'll be posting all the different platforms that we're on. At this stage, I'm gonna aim for Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple, whatever Apple Podcast is.
Just called podcasts.
Podcasts. Yeah, pretty much anything that can have a RSS feed, we will try and get it onto. As for this one, I'll do the audio split of it probably tonight already. Get it onto the RSS feeds, and I think maybe even Sean, I don't know what you think about it, but I think we must maybe do a dual upload on both our YouTube channels just to get it going. And then and then make a this is logistics for after the podcast. We can finish up.
Yeah. You said we had a plan. Now it sounds like we didn't have a plan.
We do have a plan. We've got an episode list. We've got a 12 episode list. I thought of a great episode. I forgot.
Let's talk about that later.
Okay, but anyway, everybody, if you did make it to this point, this should be 45 minutes, because we talked nonsense for the first 2 minutes of this thing.
True.
So yeah, thanks for tuning in to Blank Dads. I don't know.
Something or other. Yeah, thanks to all 5 of you.
Hey, 5 is more than I get on my live streams.
Okay.
Yeah, and for the time being, if you want to follow us and get updates, you can follow us both on Instagram. You can get me at alphadog1292, and you can get Sean at the MTB Dad. And yes, he does sometimes ride his MTB, but yeah,
contrary to popular belief.
Yeah. And I'll probably have to join him as well, because word's out that, well, the other day I saw somebody at work that I haven't seen in a while due to lockdown, and he looked at me and was like, yes, you're not even a dad yet, and look at that body. And
Oh no.
I came home, I was so depressed. It's like, I need to do
no.
jumping jacks or something. Come dogs, we're going to jog. Got to the front. Okay, we're done, we're going back.
Speaking of which, do you remember the office push-ups we used to do when we worked together?
Yeah, you did.
You never did it.
I made fun of you guys.
Yeah, I know.
Look at me
anyway,
now.
This year I started doing them again. So I walk across to a different, like to an open cubicle where no one works, and I go and I drop down every hour, and I've got my system going again. We'll see how long it lasts, but
I must do that
better
with
than
meeting
nothing.
rooms, actually.
You must just try it out.
Yeah,
Set-
I
set-
just
set
don't
an-
know if
set an
it's.
alarm on your phone for every
Yeah.
hour.
I just
If
don't
you
know.
don't have the alarm, then you don't do it.
Yeah, I just don't know if it's going to work with Google Meets. You know, hopping between virtuals.
Well, just put your camera off. No one will know.
So I need to show you something before we tag off now. This has been happening on my phone lately. So I bought. So this is anyway, that's some lacquer music. So I bought this Samsung Fitbit in the not Fit, but the Fit 2 or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
It trying to get healthy. Because you always start with the tech before you actually start the exercise.
You gotta keep yourself out before you're doing it.
Yeah, and exactly at 20 past 10, it's sort of like 20 past 10 now, whenever my heart rate is not on where it should be, this calm music starts playing to calm me down.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, as in, if it's connected to Bluetooth headphones or just...
It just starts playing on my phone. Gives zero Fs.
I don't know if I don't know if I don't know if I'd like that. That's a bit random.
I played CS the other night, and it was like 8 o'clock, and I was like, no! And the thing just goes, ding, 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 ding. Like,
chill,
I'm going to throw his phone. Anyway, to the 5 people.
Inverse effect.
Like, comment, subscribe. That's what you say when you upload things.
That's so cliche.
Don't subscribe, like, and comment what you let us know what you thought.
What you'd like us to talk about.
Well, the 12 episodes are planned, so they'll have to wait till after 12. But
yeah, for sure.
We will listen. We will listen. Till next time. Cheerio.
Cool. Cheers.